GM guys, welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert. We've been away, unfortunately, from the live streams for the last few weeks. We've been at some crazy events, Korea and Singapore, and also just been very active in the charts as well. The Discord has been proving some great winners there. Obviously, we're at all-time high. We've got a lot to speak about today. Block Pro, how's everything been on the charts your end?
Oh, pretty good. Everything at an all-time high, nice and volatile, how we like it. So it's looking good, sir.
Nice. And I actually remembered before we came on stream today, you did mention a couple, probably early August, perhaps even July, that we were going to see all-time high. I think the date you plotted out was the 13th of October. And we're now at the 7th. It's looking like you might be on the money here. However, people are, as always, pushing for higher, aren't they? Now 150 is in the conversation. And I think what we're going to go through today, guys, we're going to go through the newsletter. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, some altcoins there as well. But predominantly, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and where the possibilities actually lie and not just the hopium. Block Pro might be breaking some hearts today, guys. So go grab your coffee. But we'll find out. It might be the other way. I haven't spoken to Block Pro over the weekend, so I'm fresh to hear his views here as well. I'm actually in a short position on Bitcoin, which is in a loss. So I think that's I might have to reverse that depending on how today's AMA goes today, guys. But as always, drop a like on today's video, put some comments in, and we get right into it. First up, let me pull onto the screen. Let's have a look at crypto bubbles. If I pull us down over here. So we've got some big winners. Obviously, this is on the weekly. We've got Zcash. Zcash, we've mentioned before, one of my favorite privacy coins. One that I do actually hold myself. The reason behind the pump here was Mert from Helios Labs, which is a Solana project, very well known. He was speaking at Token 2049, and he, reiterated the importance of privacy and basically said that he thinks Zcash will be going to $1,000. Block Pro, is privacy coins something that you trade or something that you're interested in?
I don't really trade them, to be honest. I think in forms of liquidity, it's hard to spot where it is, especially because you do not see or know what's going on with them. I personally do think that, recently we've seen it a lot in Europe, that peer-to-peer transactions become more and more difficult to actually sustain and also to fulfill, basically. So I think that basically the privacy tokens will be a big part of the future of crypto.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do believe in them. I do think that are solid projects. So yeah.
But like you mentioned, actually, perhaps it's slightly harder to chart because the volatility with privacy coins can come from big transactions going through. You can't always rely on the chart like you can with other coins and commodities. It can be a little bit random, can't it?
Yeah, we have seen it with Monero, of course, a couple of times where something happens in the world, the ticker takes such a huge dive. It always will, or at least it usually restores itself in quite a fast time. But it's hard to do some proper predictions on it.
Yeah. So it can be completely random. But as always, some of you may find some opportunities with that volatility as well. So if you're in privacy coins, let me know your favorite privacy coin in the chat. We'll just go through the chat here as well. We got Roy saying, good afternoon, legends. Good to see you, Roy. We got John Brown saying, GM. James is also saying, good morning, Spud. Told you 132 is incoming and even sent you the image. He thinks the bleach has caused me to do a short. It could well be. I've been saying that crypto's turned me grey. We got Stella here saying GM gang, good to see you. And we got Jason coming all the way from Australia. Let's have a quick look what else we've got going on the weekly here on Crypto Bubbles. Obviously, BNB has been flying. We've got Cake above $4 now. You'll see a lot of kind of BNB ecosystems, especially Cake. It's the Uniswap of BNB there. They're doing a lot of volume right now, making a lot of money. Have you been trading BNB, Block Pro? I know you haven't.
I sold.
You sold. Too early, or right?
No. The plan was 1K and then get out. It was a long enough holding, so got rid of it. It is absolutely amazing to see that it still keeps chugging along, basically. What remains quite impressive. I actually have made a new update for the BNB chart, so we will go over that in a little bit.
Brilliant. Yep. Okay, guys, if you want to hear more about BNB, make sure to stay tuned. We will be going over to BlockPro's charts on TradingView to look over those as well. SBX, obviously, if you're into the meme coins, this has also been doing well at $1.60. That could well go to $2 in my opinion. Mantle here also up 30% for the week, doing well. Trying to find out if I can see Hyperliquid here. Might be missing it. Pengu up 19%, Bonk up 10%. It's pretty much green across the board here, apart for MYX Finance, which has had a good month, but down slightly from there. But let's head over to the newsletter block pro. We'll run through this quickly.
Yes,
in partnership with CalSwap, guys, go check them out.
Nice.
We have it all over there. Talking about Cal, is Cal something that the community and yourself has traded before? Yes. Yeah, say no more, guys. If you want the inside scoop, you've got to join the Discord. We can't give it all out for free, guys. Come join the Discord and ask some more questions, and they will be answered, guys. But we'll keep that one as a little bit of alpha for the group there, guys. Obviously sponsored by BLOFIN as well. We do have the link for the top level VIP tier level 1, guys. If you go in the description, you'll find the link there as well. Saves yourself some fees and do not give your information to exchanges. No need to KYC. You get 25K a day withdrawal limits. So, unless you absolutely hit it big and you need to get it out quick, you're chilling, guys. But let's see. Bitcoin readies for exploration. Bitcoin reached a new all-time high on consecutive days from Sunday to Monday, marking the first explosive week of Q4. So Bitcoin is attempting to confirm a flip of support and resistance around the highs, something which could be massively significant. This could set a solid foundation for further expansion higher if it becomes a bid zone. And to the downside, there are levels to watch should the market give an aggressive flush of longs, which may be shallow or could go deeper down. And on the weekly here, Bitcoin is now entering a phase of price exploration after closing its highest ever weekly candle. The Fibonacci levels suggest a rally towards 135,000 or potentially even 150,000. Typically, the upside price action lasts a few weeks once Bitcoin moves into expansion following consolidation. This can be seen in the previous two ranges there. We will go on to Bitcoin, guys. I want to know your opinions. So before we hear BlockPro's opinion, put them in the chat. Are we going higher or are we going to see some wicks lower down there as well? Asta, if you guys have been keeping up with what CZ and Asta have been doing, really good price action there. Now well above $2. So it says, Asta has formed a trading range between $1.80 and $2.15. This means it is consolidating between support and resistance while the next move brews. There's been a lot of hype. It can't all go in one direction, although it seems with Asta it has been. However, should the market take a drop, a fall towards $1.50 remains possible, where it recently put in a low. Still, a rally towards its high or potentially $3 to $4 is on the cards if it breaks above resistance. BlockPro, what is your opinion on Asta and Hyperliquid? They've obviously been really good to trade recently. Unless you've been trying to catch the short. I know some people have been kind of trading the ranges there. But also, what is the need for decentralized exchanges, and will you ever make the switch over?
I probably will be forced to do that, sir.
Yeah.
It's especially for like, I'm a European, of course. And we have seen in the recent months such a shift from exchanges. Like the derivatives trading is just horrible at the moment. Recently, I've seen even that one of the final exchanges that you could use was actually MEXC. Also, those now got told off by the governments by saying like you're not allowed to operate. So again, we have a lot of different exchanges that we can use, but in the end, probably the future will be with decentralized exchanges. Mm-hmm. And I actually also like it's somewhere where you say like it's part of the entire shift and adoption of the crypto industry. But I also think from basically from a crypto fanatic perspective, is like we are in this because it is decentralized. It is a little bit like against the system, and the system tries to catch up. So I think that projects like like Aster, for example. Like,
Yeah.
there is a reason why the guys at Binance say we're not even going to bother with this legal, with getting towards the legal point of trading derivatives. We can offer it on a decentralized exchange. So yeah, I do think that these projects in the long term will do really well. I probably will make a change to them at some point. Not yet, because
Like you say, out of necessity.
yes,
And I think it's only going to grow, isn't it?
yep,
Even I mentioned BLOFIN, and I use non KYC centralized exchanges. But even those, they're constantly having to go through loopholes, trying to fight off the regulators, and eventually a lot of them do fall into the trap where they do then have to receive
yes,
KYC from their users. So if this can be done in a decentralized way, truly. I think we'll have a lot of people kind of move over to those, but then the regulators will somehow come after them. I imagine.
yeah,
It's constantly going to be a game, but within that game, there's always opportunities as well.
yes,
If you're
100%.
first, if you're first to the new technology, you can get behind it and move before the regulators do, guys. So stay up to date with it all. We'll just have a quick look at Hyperliquid here, and then we're going to look at the fear and greed, and then also some important dates for the week. So Hyperliquid is witnessing similar price action. It's stuck between key support and resistance and demand. While the fun begins, should it get above a push and a hold above $50 would likely signal a rally towards the highs, but it may also enter price discovery itself. Hype and Aster are two coins with the most attention on them currently. So yeah, let us know, are you trading Hyperliquid or Aster? I'm currently leaning more towards the Aster side. I think Hyperliquid is going to remain dominant, but
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a good push with Aster, so they've still got a point to prove. They're not going to give up here, because if they give up here, Hyperliquid will be the clear
Yes,
winner.
they will take over 100%.
So Aster are going to keep pushing forward, in my opinion, guys. If you can use the platform, go check it out. There's rumors of future airdrops for usage and bits like that. So yeah, get familiar with it, guys. Have a look, read up on it, and then make your own mind up on the potential of these two projects here. So we've got Fear and Greed Index at 70, nicely in greed. So the index has followed the price movement as the market falls into the most anticipated period of the year, Q4. And what are some of the important dates this week? So we have Mr. Jerome Powell speaking at the FOMC meetings. He's saying, the minutes from the Fed's FOMC meeting in June will be released. This will provide a deeper insight into what was discussed in the meeting alongside the tone of the comments. The market will use the minutes as a marker leading up to the next FOMC meeting. So we've got Jerome Powell's speech on Thursday. He's delivering a welcoming remarks via pre-recorded video of the Community Bank Conference in Washington. And then Friday, we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. And just coming down here, you can see some of the gainers and the losers from the week. Also, some of the losers, MYX, World Liberty Financial there as well. 00, Meme Core, Flare. Not two notable projects there. What you expect to see in a green week. Do you think there's going to be much impact from what Jerome Powell says this week, Block Pro?
No, not at all. FOMC minutes is not that important in general. It will cause some short-term volatility, but it's usually for an hour or two, and then it is back to normal. I think that one of the more important things at the moment is basically, again, like the discussion around rate cuts. Last time that it got put through is what we already said, like it's already priced in, so enjoy the pump while it lasts, and then it will pull back, and it will take a little bit of time before that comes out. So FOMC minutes for the crypto industry doesn't really impact a lot. If you look towards indexes and indices and Forex and metals and stuff like that, it will have a big impact on crypto. It will not change a whole lot, luckily enough. So
Brilliant. And just before we move over to having a look at BNB, having a look at Bitcoin and some of these other altcoins, if you've got any suggestions, whack them into the chat. I'll just read this comment out here. Any chippy updates we'll be able to stake before the game comes out. So Stella, the best point to catch us for chippy updates is in the CSC Plus Discord. You can join there. We have a 50% off code right now. I will be speaking with TMG about Chippy in the town hall in about an hour and a half's time. So join the Discord and you'll be able to catch us there. We have some interesting updates. I won't go onto them on YouTube. I'll keep them all fresh for the Discord. So catch us there. And also, if you're looking for one-to-one tuition with Block Pro for trading and myself for Web3 career advice, you can also get that all within the CSC Plus Discord, depending on your package there. Any questions regarding joining or any questions you may have in general, just reach out to us and we will get those answered for you. But let's move over to your screen, Block Pro. Let me just remove mine and let's have a look what we've got up on the screen here.
So let's start with the granddaddy of crypto, Mr. Bitcoin. So yeah, there was a little bit of a celebration around the all-time high. Of course, I personally wasn't that impressed by it because also the DXY took quite a bit of a dive at the same moment that basically we reached that all-time high point. So I do think it still looks very strong, especially like on the 4 hour. So where we're looking at is basically weekly support and resistance. And this one got updated about an hour ago. So went over some liquidity areas to see from what is important here. Well, one of the more important aspects at the moment is we have gained on above $123,806. So I also expect with that candle closure over here that we might stay here for a little bit. That will be one of the best scenarios that we can get, really, because if we create some more liquidity towards the upside, it means we can go a little bit higher, pick it up on the way down and move up again. So from this point already looks quite good. I see we had a little bit of a reaction towards the liquidity area, but not too much. So other scenario can be is to actually start pulling back, and for that maybe that the FOMC will be used for that as an excuse, but again I don't think it will. So then in that case we're looking towards $121,906.04. Then after that we actually encounter again a large area of liquidity, and that is a quite important area because that's left over from a previous all-time high. So that is based on the 14th of August 2025. And
what price was
that? So here we reached the top of 124,501. So I think that this is an area that we need to revisit again. That's also why I noted it down. If I look towards the entire structure, what you can see is this non-stop accumulation range. It's just the stairs up, basically. So I think that a lot of easy liquidity is in that entire range ready to get taken out, basically. So from that perspective, what would be nice is to actually see a little bit of the range towards like 120 towards 118,000. That's still not reason enough to panic, because you do need to grab the liquidity to actually push up higher. So that is something that is on my mind with Bitcoin. If we would talk like mega bullish sentiment, as you can see, my chart is empty above. And I have a reason for that, and it's actually quite simple. Is well, I actually said like almost a year ago, like we need to gain 126,300 ish, and we didn't. So as long as Bitcoin doesn't push further from that level, there's for me no reason to chart it out. But that's that's just personal preference, of course. Because I do see some messages and also some posts where people say like, yeah, it's now time to go like towards the ridiculous numbers. I still think that this week can be an up only week, what would be lovely, of course. I do think that yeah, basically I see like you said, like also that 130, 135 area. It's for me percentage wise not a massive gain from here. So need to see how that will pay out. But in the end, I have some top targets, mostly around 160k for basically a top out. But that also depends a lot on what the dollar is gonna do. Dollar just needs to get weaker and weaker and weaker.
You mentioned that at the start. What are you seeing a correlation between the price of Bitcoin and the price of the dollar at the moment?
Not mega, to be honest. But it is mainly because we work in crypto, we do everything based on Bitcoin US dollar. As soon as I would make this same chart in Bitcoin Euro, for example, or Bitcoin versus the Swiss franc, the chart will look different. So it's a bit of like the standard in the industry, basically. Of course, like the more the billionaires will see that the dollar will collapse, and it is already starting, the more they will diversify. So in the end, yeah, it does have an impact, but it does correlate with actually only with a single pairing. So yeah, for me, I think it still looks bullish as hell. If we put this thing on the weekly, you can also see that we had that awful period of time where we just were waiting for almost a year for something to happen. And now again, we have had a nice, lovely bump. So this is where my theory comes from maybe accumulate a little bit here on the top side to start breaking out again. And that will be absolutely lovely. Do you think that might be one of the last ranges towards the upside before a blow off top? And this is where it gets interesting. No one has a single clue how far a blow off top can go. So
you did mention 160 just there.
Yes.
Is that just a stab in the dark? Because you don't like you mentioned before, you don't really like to predict where there's been no price action before.
No,
you like going within the lines, within the price action which has already been there. That's the easiest for you to predict.
Yes, correct.
Why does it make it that much harder to predict with price action where it hasn't been before?
It makes it a lot more difficult because you're actually left over with a couple of simple tools. So that is your Fibonacci retracement and your Elliott wave. And I personally hate them both. And it's funny because if you would look at how big institutions trade or market makers move a certain market, it's always the combination of usually an Elliott wave and a Fibonacci retracement, or at least a Fibonacci tool. There is a reason how a certain market moves for a longer period trending time, and that's not because someone has invented the wheel for the 300,000th time. It's just because of those two calculation based. So you can do it based on measurements. You can use your Fibonacci retracement tool for it. Make sure to use it in the proper way, otherwise you end up with like 5.5 million at the end of the week. And then study some Elliott wave things. And I think if you are an investor in crypto or in whatever financial market it is, learn how to do an Elliott wave, learn how to make those price ranges. So that is basically where on one of my charts it actually came out with those numbers. Downside is, and this is what I have, I can post it and say I'm calling for 160k, but I have no clue. So and I personally also like, as long as it just goes up and down, up and down. Anyway. But for the investors, 100% study about it. We have some nice articles about the Elliott wave also on cryptosavingexpert.com. So make sure to head to the website and go to the, I believe it's trading guides section. And there you will find a lot of information about those types of tools, because they're part of the basics.
And just wanted to say as well, we have just started on some new courses. So new courses will be coming for free, and then some also more advanced courses for the members. That will probably take 3 to 4 weeks, and then we'll start rolling them out along with some more guides as well. So we're focusing on education. And like I mentioned earlier, guys, if you want the best one-to-one trading tuition, please join, and you can book some time with Block Pro and go through his method there as well.
So then on to Ethereum, the most boring asset at the moment that I can think of. Holy hell. It's just really being
not been getting any limelight at all, especially with BNB going as crazy it has, and Solana still being in the spotlight. Even Sui has been getting more attention recently. I think the only thing I've seen from Ethereum recently was that video of Vitalik running through the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's mental. Like it's just not doing that much. Price action on it is quite good, but then locally, so for the intraday traders and the scalpers, it's great. But further, it seems to have like this massive sell on it. Mm-hmm. I personally cannot figure out why, because I actually think that this thing should be towards the 5 or 6K mark. At least. Mm-hmm. But it's just not getting there. So again, what I have done, made a chart with support and resistance on it, and also some high liquidity areas where I expect a reaction into the box, or just basically if we gain off a box, that means we are likely to go actually higher. So we have basically 2 measurement tools in this system of TA. So first of all, what is important here? Well, we have had quite a nice breakout from the latest high, so that created a nice BOS and break of structure. Then that is basically where we now need to keep a bit of attention. So $4,603 is where you can expect basically a simple pullback. Not the worst thing in the world, because the trend still will be up from that point. So from here, if we can keep some bullish momentum going and actually break out of this old range, that means that we can start looking towards a bit of liquidity, higher. So in that case, we need to break 4,759. So before we actually can push, that is this area here, before we can push higher towards 4,849. From that point on, it can go quite fast, because we see here a lovely wick. I also noticed, like, I'm now on the crypto chart from TradingView to keep it general. But if you scan through multiple charts from different exchanges, this wick looks not the same on all of the charts. So I personally think that as soon as we start gaining above that 4,849 level, that we actually have cleared all sell pressure. There will come new sell pressure, of course. I do think that it will be towards the 5,026. But it seems like every time you gain a bit of momentum, you get slowed down again. So still, to me, it looks bullish as hell. It's just a very simple, nice uptrend. And again, like I say, BNB is sky high. Solana even looks to perform better than how Ethereum is doing. But in the end, if you look at how much Ethereum is actually being accumulated still till today, numbers are mental. So it should take off. If it doesn't do shit this cycle, maybe that in the next cycle it will be a gem. We do not
There's
know.
always the next cycle.
There's always the next cycle. But that brings us towards BNB. So
that looks a lovely chart.
Yeah, so with BNB, I will put it here on the daily. So I actually have one last level on BNB left.
Okay.
For me, that's a top at 1,443.60. So if we will get there, don't know, but some measure moves indicates that it can go there. I would also be highly entertained if this thing now just takes over Ethereum.
Yeah. So we've actually just had BNB has just flipped XRP. James has put in the chat here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised here at all. Well, like I say, from basically in around September, we already start talking in the Discord with like, pay attention to BNB, start trading it, or at least don't fade it. And this was the reason basically why it. You can just see how much it compressed, and also how good the accumulation was towards that 840 level. Now there is a funny one here, and that also has to do with basically a level system, and also a photo that Mr. CZ posted not that long ago, and that was 844. Well, pay attention, because usually when those things happen, it's not a coincidence and it is just played in, but he just likes to mess with people next level. So yeah, no, it looks quite good. We have created some liquidity zones on the way up. I don't think they will get revisited soon. So in that case, we're looking in this area here between 840 and 880. I don't think that we will see that in the short term. Then we have a big pocket of open liquidity here on the top side, because it's just, oh, we're going up, so people start longing the absolute crap out of it. And that is the top side of that is 982. So from here, I actually seen here a small part, and I think we can even make this a tiny bit bigger. Yes, let's do it like, sorry for that, should have fixed that before I started. So that is actually at 1036.16, and that is something where I can say maybe that is something to revisit, because as you can see, none of these support levels actually have been tested once. So to start coming back at some point, retest those areas, maybe grab the liquidity, go back up again, because bull run is here, is quite high, but it's just strength in this thing is freaking ridiculous. I did get the question the other day with, can I start shorting it? Yeah, you can, 100%, but you will be on the wrong side of the trend. So if you want to short these types of things, learn about your market structures, and as soon as you see something where you actually break your high or your lower high excuses, that means you change off character, and that means that you have a trend reversal. Before that, just chill. Don't take it. If you're not in it, you're not in it. Search for something else. Start shorting it because of something is really high. You do not know where it will end. You just don't. I've seen it in 2021 where you then thought like, this must be the top, I will go for a short position, and then you check in 2 hours later and the ticker is up 300%. So be careful with that. But
we all know CZ's love for the number 4 as well, so I think 1444 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I think that just like, again, like it's so close. It's so close. Like if I'm off with 40 cents, fine with that. Then let's show XRP for a little bit, but not for too long, because I think that most of the hype with XRP is just played out. And again, after 10 years of waiting, well, congratulations with the long. But we can see that it starts slowing down. So it's actually from here at the moment in a decent range. Range low is $2.71 and the range high is $3. So it's a big distance. Looking towards the weekly chart, then I do expect this thing to actually start coming down a little bit. To me, it seems like, or we need to get like that final blast through this, through something like XRP. But I also think that a lot of the people actually have taken the money out and are now already distributing into other assets. So yeah, looking quite well so far. Then let's take a look towards Solana, because I always know that the guys in the meme coin industry absolutely love this thing. This is also what I love about searching up pockets of liquidity and support and resistance. Is let me get this shit off the screen. Here on the low side can go. Was from something else. Boom. Is that we can actually see that. Well, you work your way through those support and resistance levels, and then you hit the pocket of liquidity, and then you can see how that reaction is in that liquidity zone combined with your resistance. So now, again, this can be tempted to actually start shorting it. For that, you need, again, start looking towards some structures where you then say, for example, okay, if we can get a full closure below here, maybe we go for a short towards 213. Again, what if we actually gain? So the distance here is so small that it then actually would say, or wait, with reacting to the price. If you're in a spot position, just chill, because it will go higher anyway. So if we start gaining the $234.90 area, then we do have some heavy pockets of liquidity to work through. That means bringing us in total towards 257. After that, the road's open to 275, and then 301.97. And what happens after that? No.
Yeah.
We need to see.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. So that is an interesting one. Let me check. What was the other one? Oh yeah, Borg.
Yes, got to talk about Borg.
Yes, this is again where I just say, oh, TA, we have not changed a single thing since we spoke about this. But,
wow.
So
and we have about this since the lows, since July, August time. We've been talking about Borg. I took a lovely position in Borg, added to my position there. I think we were talking about it around the kind of 15-20 cents mark.
Yeah,
and now we're well above 60 cents. So well done to anyone who caught that. So far, seems the momentum's not stopping.
No, that is certainly the case. What is one of the nicer things with a project like Borg? There are no derivatives trading on it.
Yes.
So that means you will not have dickheads that are selling their bags while shorting the position itself. So that basically means also for looking basically from perspective in how you can send this up higher. And some form of a DCA position would make sense on an asset like this, because of the lack of derivative volume. That also will mean is that you don't need a lot of capital to actually make the chart move.
Yeah.
If I then look at this chart, especially like we have spent a lot of time doing TA on this to be just accurate with it, and I think that paid off, is that I have marked out some more levels on this thing. Because again, I actually think it can go even higher than the point that I have right here. So I have a top here at 84 cents, so 84685, and it is still quite a big, still a nice distance to go through. So again,
well, what 40% gain from here, that would take us 40%, I think.
Yes.
We've even got Swissborg in the chat here as well, saying GM. So glad Swissborg are watching. They're such an active team, guys. They're even watching the streams. This wasn't planned at all. We do talk about Borg a lot, so it's good to see Swissborg watching. And we've got a lot of love for the Swissborg team, and they really are the pioneers in the space, setting the standard. So, guys, if you're not really following Swissborg, head over there as well. Looking for more Borg chat, you'll find it in the Discord as well. But yeah, Block Pro, let's talk about these upper levels here.
Well, I hope that they now not start messing up my chart, because I spent a lot of time on this. So tell your market to drink some coffee and walk away for a bit. Let me enjoy this for 5 seconds. So basically looking from, like, we did a lot with the 4 hour and with the weekly. So with the 4 hour, actually I've seen a nice area where, again, we created a big ass FEG that actually got sold off quite a bit. And this is the difficult, or at least a bit different, of when you have an asset with a lot of derivatives volume on it, is you can see that nothing is actually you get not really longer extensions of time where you actually need through accumulation before you break out through a range again. So with a pocket like this, then I would definitely say like maybe that we can revisit that 59 again, and that to only revisit that you need someone to sell, because otherwise you're not going to get through that anyway. So from here, to me still like it's just a case of simply working through the levels on the higher zones. So when do you so as we always do, when is it allowed to start getting more towards a panic is actually, again, when you start breaking your lows. And even if we would look at that on the 4 hour, and I will put it on a line chart for now, is that you can clearly see just how that structure is basically being formed. So yes, this part is a little bit choppy, but still you're creating new lows. So new lower highs. So in this case, we have not broken here that top side towards the high, but it also might be a case that someone actually thought maybe they're holding this for a very long time. Like maybe I want to scale down a little bit and start shorting BNB, whatever. So it does make sense for this then to cool off a little bit. To actually get into like full ass panic mode is if you start losing this here, so start losing towards that 55 cents, then you can of course expect to start revisiting here that 48 cents level. Now here is where it gets interesting, because I couldn't find anything lower than 48 cents where actually the price will get attracted towards. The only part that there is the point of control from the volume, but that just has to do because the thing has been trading in spot forever. So that means that the point of control is here towards the downside and also over here. So then we're talking like 26 cents. For that, you need a lot of holders at the same time to say, I'm selling. And I don't buy that, or at least I would buy it, but I'm not selling it.
And I just wanted to touch upon this as well. What is the difference that enabling perp trading can make to a chart? What are some of the key differences that you identify? What makes the levels different?
So I think that one of the biggest differences is that if you have an altcoin and it's a low market cap altcoin, and I would say, well, I'm a trader, I'm going to take 10k, put it on a 10x and smack it in there. That will put a big impact on the chart. Like we've seen it in the past where I said like, oops, I bought something and the chart went up with a couple percent. And that is something that still what you would have with spot trading, of course, where you can make the chart move based on your buys. But everything that you put in is actually, it's not loaned money. So it's actual capital, what's in there. And it is not just air that will get liquidated at a certain price. So with an asset, like if I then look at something like Borg, and let's say Bitcoin will take a dive of like 10%, of course, that will have an impact on all crypto assets. But that is where you will see the big liquidations, and that is where you can save, or at least where crypto projects can save themselves a little bit from preventing those big liquidations on their assets by actually not trading it in derivatives. Now, one of the things that I always think when it comes towards these types of projects, maybe it might be something to say like, okay, you have also like spot margin trading, for example. And it's still leveraged, but it is like 2 or 3x. And you still buy the underlying asset, but it is at least you get rid of that USDT or USDC contract that is actually just, you can leverage the absolute crap out of that. And the more leverage in a market, the more unhealthy it is. And this is also where fear and greed comes from, is everyone is long at the same moment. You create just a very big bubble of air that needs to pop at some point. So this looks, in my opinion, a lot stronger. I've seen some parts here in the beginning, a little bit of manipulation to start breaking towards those highs. Quite normal. And after that, it just starts taking off. And here someone went like, yeah, fuck yeah, I need to buy a lot of it.
Yeah. When the FOMO kicked in.
The FOMO kicked in.
We've got James here asking, I was looking to add my Borg and had to redo my KYC, so late on buying more now. Obviously, James, you can buy on the Swissborg platform, but you can also buy on the Solana blockchain. So you can do that through Jupiter and all of those swap platforms. So if you have a Solana wallet, you can swap Sol token, SBL tokens for Borg there as well. And we've also got Swissborg saying thanks always for the epic support. No, thank you guys. You've we can really stand behind you with strong conviction, and I think that 84 cents is definitely a target for us in the community. Yeah. And then we'll mark out some new goals from there as well.
Yeah, like I said, the issue that I encountered with the chart mainly towards this high side. Also, I said like at 84, I'm going to stop with trying to figure out where it will go, is because you can see here clearly is we have had some quite positive price action in the past, but here on the top side, it's so this box right here is in my opinion, or at least that's just where I don't have a skill issue, is not accurate enough to actually share it with people to say like, I think that this and this will happen. So yeah, looks very good. I'm very happy with the gains so far, because of course I bought some too. Then I am going to round it up, Mr. Spot, and I want to close it with pump. Because that was also such a weird one. I got a couple requests for this sticker in the last couple days.
Reacting with your I know we've had this a lot today. Your levels have been superb, but the levels here, I've got to say, have been very accurate.
Yeah, these. So this is the shit thing. When a ticker is new, you just don't have shit info basically. So you need to really start looking at where can we expect something. So looking from a higher point of perspective, so basically you're from the highs towards the more lower side, I actually think that this is ready to retrace towards a point of control. So I would say my personal point of interest where I would consider to take action on the asset is towards that 5.3. So I will map it out where that is roughly. So that is basically this area right here is where I would say, maybe it is time to consider again a position on it. I currently don't have a position on it. I have not traded it whatsoever. But yeah, that was basically the question that I got. Like, what do you think about these levels here towards the downside? So that 5.2 point is quite important. Now, what if we actually get some more up towards the week? Then we still need to have a full daily closure above the 6.3 line. If I then go towards the daily, then you guys can see why I think that likelihood is quite small. So let me do it like so. Is we're now playing with the SMA. And that shows to me that there is not huge trust in the direction of the market. And usually when I see a trend direction going through an SMA, that basically means for me personally, do nothing. The chance that it is a liquidity grab is quite high. You compare this with Borg, you can leverage trade the crap out of this. So I will wait with that for a little bit. But if we start gaining again, then 7.5 is on the cards, 8.7 is on the cards. And from that point on, I managed to map it out till 1 cent. So it still has some decent potential. So yeah, I think that was, well, I have loads and loads more, but I do need to go for a meeting in a little bit. We need to
no worries. We will wrap up here for today. I will just show people the Discord as well while we wrap up. So guys, if you're wanting one-to-one tuition from Block Pro, he's even doing an AMA later today, 5 p.m. UK time. You've got to join the Discord. More chart analysis in here, as you can see. Some really good mapped out bits. Any questions you have about trading, altcoins, meme coins, can all be answered in there. And obviously you have that Martini guy as well in the Discord, doing an AMA with him in just over an hour's time. So join there, guys. It's honestly the best place. We've got more courses coming out. Everything's really ramping up. We don't have many spaces left for premium. I think it was spoken about 2 to 3 premium spaces left at most. Community, we can welcome more in. So join there. We have a code in the bottom. But yeah, thank you so much today, Block Pro. Really, really good. Apologies that we missed last week and the week before with events. We will be going strong forward. There's a lot of momentum in the market, in the Discord. Everything's going a bit crazy right now, but it's good fun. And the best way to keep up with it is keep watching the content, keep engaging, join the Discord, get about it, guys. But yeah, we will wrap up there for today. Thank you all for listening. Big shout out to Swissborg for listening as well. Go check Borg out. We've already done a free X on Borg since we've been speaking about it on these live streams, but we still expect more. As always, not financial advice, guys. Take some of our courses, do some reading, make your own decisions there. Block Pro, what's your day like for the rest of the day now?
Got 3 coaching calls on the program for this afternoon, so going to smash it with those guys, of course. We got the Dead Martini guy AMA, and later tonight I will host an AMA in the Crypto Saving Expert Discord, going to look at some tickers, what's on the cards, and we're also going to talk a little bit about a volume, and that's it really. Maybe do some trades in the meantime. We will see. So thank you for having me, Ross, and I'll speak to you soon.
Always a pleasure, guys. Take care, and we will see you tomorrow. Let's go. Or in the Discord. Catch us there.